Mr. Shivaji Chatterjee. A warm welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking your time to be on the channel, Shivaji.
Thanks, Joby. It's my pleasure. I hope I had another kahani today.
Thank you so much. Of course, it'll be wonderful, Shivaji. Thank you again. So, Shivaji, for the benefit of our viewers, may I please request you to give a little background about yourself, Shivaji?
Sure. Firstly, my name itself is pretty unique, as in Shivaji Chatterjee. It seems to be a confluence of East and West, and that's pretty much who I am. I'm a Bengali by birth, but I was born in Madras, now Chennai, and that's where I did my schooling. I finished my schooling, college, started working in Bombay, and now I find myself in Gurgaon. So you can say I've come full circle, and so that's in terms geographically how it's been. I'm born into a family which is from the advertising background, so full of arts, but as because I was good in science and maths, and that was the default path many years back in terms of how what that meant in terms of your career and education. I am an engineer. I passed out from Pune University, did my management in Bombay, and I won't talk thereafter because I think that's going to be fairly covered in today's theme.
Thank you so much for that little piece of information, Shivaji. So, Shivaji, you're currently with Hughes, right?
That's right, Hughes.
Hughes.
So Hughes is a satellite communications company, a managed services company. It's basically a telecom service company headquartered in the US but operating in India since 1995. We were the first to start telecom services from a private sector with the VSAT and SATCOM services in 95. And Hughes has evolved, over the years. And today we are a company which is services the length and breadth of the company, providing, connectivity to every, school for e-learning, the army outposts in the border front. We connect all the banks and ATMs in the country. All the gas stations and petrol pumps have our connectivity. Every movie that's distributed in India and viewed in a theater is actually sent on a Hughes connection, and that's how the movie distribution happens. So I've just kind of given these examples because they somehow touch the life of the consumer. So we are a company which is essentially a B2B company, but touches the life of a lot of consumers by providing services which are mission critical and at retail points of presence, which are which is where consumers are.
That's so amazing, Shivaji, because, you're the people who are behind, the nerve center or the network behind everything that we touch, like you rightly said. So, Shivaji, how long have you been with this company, with your company, Hughes?
I completed 25 years in July. So I'm in my 26th year. Some people say I don't look 26, but that's how long I've been in this company. And it's July 97. It sounds like a different time when I joined, but, it feels like yesterday. And I think that's going to be the secret to, longevity.
Fantastic. So, Shivaji, we're living in a time where people are finding it difficult to spend 26 months in an organization, and I'll touch upon that a little later. But you've done, 25 going on 26 in this one company. So, Shivaji, you would have seen during these years several of your juniors or your peers leaving for the industry. And the industry, in the time that you mentioned, has been on hyper growth mode. And money for the asking, whatever perks you wish, but you stayed, Shivaji. And what was the primary reason for you staying? What was that held you back, Shivaji?
Yeah, so I don't say anything held me back. I
Mhm.
think I never was I don't think anything was pulling me away. So I'll really put it the other way in a more positive way. Firstly, it's like when they say a cricketer goes to score a double century, they don't, when they come to bat, that's not what's in their mind. I think they're looking to play the ball and play well. So it's like that with anything we did. Maybe with your venture which you did here. Initially, you started it off, with the right intent and spirit, and I think that honesty and sincerity, and if it is two ways, I think that's what keeps it going. And then you don't realize that when I said it feels like yesterday, it really does. I still go to work, and do every meeting with the same passion and the same, belief, and same values which I had 25 years back. I still feel the same nerves about doing well, performing, and I think that's where I think that's what has kept it going. That each year or each day feels like a fresh day. You need to work, you need to be sincere to your job, and it doesn't matter if you were a rookie in sales or whether you're heading the business today. It's that's just a relative aspect. I think what you do with whatever job you're entrusted is the same. So I'll say that's the main thing. And I felt very early in life, I when when I was doing my college, and there's these spiritual thoughts and I'll say deeper discussions. It was like, you need to be happy, right? I think if everyone asks what's the goal of you in life, what do you say? I want to be happy, right? That would probably be a universal goal. So now if you break down that goal, what is happiness, right? It's what is satisfaction? It's like when your expectations are met with performance or reality or actuals, right? That's when you say it's that simple. It's like when your expectations are met, you're happy. So I'll say that firstly, what has always kept me grounded, from various other, I'll say, attractions, as you said, what are, there was a dot-com boom, there's a dot-com bust, there's a telecom had so many booms, and the whole industry is transformed. And of course, I was approached all through because, unlike, I grew very, very fast in my job. So in the first, I think, 5 years, I got three promotions, and I grew to be a director in the company just 6 years after joining the company, which normally happens much later. So I grew fast. I was very much in demand. I hope I'm very much in demand still. But more than demand, I think I was very much in command. That I always knew that these are my expectations. Are they being met? And if you're satisfied, keep going on, right? And it's really that. If you now start wavering and start having higher expectations, then sooner or later you'll be disappointed, even if your reality is the same. So I think firstly, it's very important to balance the expectation and reality. If you are in a certain type of company, it's going to offer you certain things and not offer you certain things. There's no perfect company. Go to the biggest company, you'll say, oh, you're a small fish in a big ocean. And then join in a small company, you'll say, you're a big fish, but the pond is too small. So it's, there'll always be a trade off. And once you understand what is that expectation, I think that's when you start tailoring to it, and then you're satisfied. So I think that's very important. The other kind of analogy is like the famous tortoise versus the hare. When you're doing your career or your life or a marriage, you're in it for the long haul, right? Nobody's in it to work 5 years, or you want to live till you're 80, 90. You want to work till you're 60, 70. You want to stay married for 50 years. Isn't that the goal? and
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
then if you're now in a marathon, because those are the longevity and the lifetime, only if you are measured can you last that long. If you're sprinting like a hare, you're going to run out of breath. And then you kind of look to get on to the next thing because you've run out of breath somewhere. And then what happens when you keep, in any marathon, if you start sprinting, stopping, sprinting, stopping, that you'll never finish first. So I think that's very, very important. I think I understood what it is. And I think that's the key to longevity. In a marathon, you pace yourself, you understand what you are. And at the end of it, after 25 years, I look at all my peers who started 25 years back. I'm definitely ahead of most of them, if not all. And I'll say then probably my strategy, although it wasn't consciously designed this way, but because of my belief system was this way, is how it's panned out to be.
That's fantastic, Shivaji. Thank you for that. And Shivaji, while you were staying there, I'm sure you would have had a lot of conflicts, within yourself, as people were leaving and joining the industry at some stage in time, where people were seen as jumping and getting a good growth, so to speak. How, I'm asking this more because, for some of our viewers, maybe in that space where they're facing some kind of conflict. Should I jump? Should I not jump? And, that guy's grown faster. She has grown faster than me. We were together in one batch. What would be your, point of view, or what would you like to share with that group, which is, thinking of, tackling some of these conflicts?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's no easy answer because it's so circumstantial.
Yes,
I'll
yes.
say that, the generic thing is, there are those who, in spite of doing well and being taken care of, growing, look to jump. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
those are the category which I would caution,
Mm.
that that's like the tortoise versus the hare. You can't. It's a it's a snakes and ladders game then, and you will get that snake where you get into a company where it doesn't go well, and then you come down, and then you realize you spend a lot of energy and you've not gone back, as they say, you're back to square one or square five. So I'll say that's the one area I would tell people, that if you're doing well, you're appreciated. There's a mutual respect both ways. I'd say don't think about it. That I'll say that you lose out in the long run. The other category is, of course, if you're very dissatisfied, and when I say dissatisfied, this is after you've tried to make it work. And I think that's very important, for with our family, with our marriage, with our friends, anything where we have a deeper sense of natural loyalty, we always do everything to work it out. I feel that's the same sentiment one needs to have with a job. It's paying you money, you enjoy what you're doing. So the least you can do is give back in equal measure and try to make it work. Now, if that, and and there'll always be, that's why I said everyone can't last 25 years. It's not, as I said, there may be bad circumstances. You may not get along. You may be a misfit for the role. Whatever. There may be some bad experiences you've had in the company. It can happen. And then that's when, after you give it a shot, think it through, that's when you make a change. But it should be a very thought out decision. I feel in earlier times, the family used to have a big role to play, Joby, in this decision. But what I see now with the newer generations, it seems to be more a self-driven decision, not enough discussion. And that's what I would also give as a advice. Talk to people where, if you're thinking like this, take more inputs. It's an important decision, a job change, and then decide. Don't do it on the spur of a moment, and definitely don't do it because many things are circumstantial. Let's look at what's happening today, the great resignation. People are changing jobs. It is only circumstantial. You are not going to be valued. They're paying you today because they need people. And there was a dearth of supply due to the pandemic, but they can't afford those 40-50% jumps that they're getting. So sooner or later, in the next year or the year after, you're going to be benchmarked with the industry, benchmarked with the norms, benchmarked with affordability, and you're not going to get increments of double digits also. So from a 50% jump, if you then start getting 5% increments, and there are or no increments at all, saying, oh, you already paid higher than your peers, then have you really gone ahead? You've just gone ahead in that spur of the moment. But not only will you not go further ahead, it's going to play on the mind, because anybody who's done well, got a good increment, doesn't want to now listen to single digits or no increment scenarios. So those are, I'll say, important advice. Discuss with more people. It's a very important decision. Don't get spurred on by macro sentiments, which are, short term. There are companies which, are looking to just grow for valuation, may not have strong fundamentals. Those are the people, why you offered much more than what you're getting, at the very core of it. It's because somebody needs and values you, and that may not be because of you, but maybe because of the gain of the company, right? The company is also doing a certain transaction. It doesn't know you when it's hiring you. It's taking you for a certain value which you will bring to the company. And the intent of that value and that hiring has to be seen. So so that's what I would put as an advice. It should be a last resort. It should be well thought out. And definitely, I feel, don't do it for the sake of it, and don't look at peers. I didn't do it, and it paid off in the long run, in the short run, in the medium run. In every which way, I felt that I never felt, it's not that at the end of the day I'm looking back and saying I'm the tortoise which won. I never felt like a tortoise, but I knew what race I'm running.
So Shivaji, could I ask you, I mean, was there any specific incident or something that may have had a impact in your present company, which made you stay? Was there any such incident ever?
In fact, very early on, I was probably just over a year in the company, and I was in my grandmother's house in Wellington near Ooty.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a call from my boss, who was in the company for 4 years, and saying that, please come back to Bombay, and you've been selected to go to the Hughes head office for a event in Washington, DC. So I just took the bus, scurried, made it to Bangalore, got my ticket, got my visa, flew out. And when I came back, and I was still new in the company, and I came back and I found out that my boss, who was doing very well in the company, himself hadn't gone till then. And if I didn't go, he would be going. And he made sure he somehow traced me to my grandmother's house in Wellington, and this is 1998. So that's when I felt there's a company with values where people, look beyond their, individual goals. And it plays a big role. And I just want to add one thing which I haven't said. The next one or two layers, about 20 people who report to me, they've all been in the company for more than 20 years. In my next two levels, I have lost maybe 2 or 3 people out of the 25 in the last 20 years. So I'll say loyalty fosters loyalty, and longevity fosters longevity.
Amazing. What a leader you make, Shivaji. What a leader you're making. What a great company. The companies should be so proud of having, a leader like you, Shivaji. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And thank you for taking your time to be on the channel. I won't take out, more of your precious time. But once again, Shivaji, thank you for coming on the channel.
Thank you, Joby. And I wish you longevity of this show. I really admire the kind of concept that you've done. It's very unique, novel, every element of it. And I definitely look forward to not just this show, but seeing every others which comes out. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Shivaji. Thank you again. Very kind of you. Very kind.